Howdy, Possum Patty here. And well, as you can see, I have the table completely covered from one side to the other with junk journals and junk. And I am just as happy as a pig in mud. Yes, I am. Well, yesterday I said I may find a little time to work on the steam train ride journal page. Mr. Possum, Flat Staley, and I took the steam train ride. I did sit down and do some things I'm going to show you. But this video is really unscheduled, unscripted. Yeah, I just thought I would like some company. So I'm asking you to come along with me and let's do some journaling. This is my October journal, and just because there's a haunted house on the cover does not mean every page in this journal is going to be about Halloween or even decorated like Halloween, but definitely October, definitely autumn. And when we get closer to Halloween, which I can't believe is coming up so quickly, there will be some Halloweenish pages in here. But right now, I am just journaling about fall activities. And this was the big E, which turned out to be a big project. Many pages long. All the way up to here, this was about doing some gel plate printing. And then I started the pages about our adventure on the Essex steam train. I decided at the end of the last video that I might add something to these tickets that I'm decorating the top and bottom of the page with. So I remembered that Rhonda, I'm pretty sure it was Rhonda, Rhonda, let me know, had sent me a bunch of steampunk things. And this was quite a while ago when I made my Howard journal that I showed you in the last video. I already gone through my pile of stuff here. And yeah, Rhonda, this was from you, right? She made these die cuts and she sent me some that were not painted, a whole bunch of them, so that I can decorate them as I want to put in my journals. Thank you so much, Rhonda. Please visit Rhonda at the Junk Journal Diva. So I took 2 of them. So this is the first thing I did this morning. I got up kind of early. I don't want to lose those. And I got out. I only got up like a couple of minutes before Mr. Possum woke up. And these were on the table. This is from Temu. They're pretty cheap. D Praise. And they're glittery watercolors. And some are like shimmery and some are glittery. You might remember I hauled this and tested these out. And I painted 2 of these. As you can see, I added a little blue to sort of like a rust color and a more of a bronze color. And I added just a little touch of blue because of the blue in the background. I just wanted to tie that in. And I did add a couple of little pieces of book page. So the only thing I got done before breakfast was painting these 2. There's one at the bottom. This book is big, but you can see it down there. I went down the basement and got this book, Chums, which is, I think, 1930 something. 1938. Oh, here's a train here too. I was looking for a picture of some trains, and this is like a collection of boys or men's stories all put together, kind of like an annual. And I love the vintage paper and the illustrations. But there's a lot of fighting, a lot of pirates, a lot of planes and soldiers and that kind of thing. But, you know, once in a while, a lot of cowboys in here too. You need that sort of thing. But I just took a little piece of the book page there, and I put matte medium on it because it is, like I said, like 90 years old. And then I glued the gears on top after they dried. So I was loving that. But on the bottom, should I turn it around? When I went in the drawer to look for these, I came across this die cut here that's kind of like a marsh die cut. It's got cattails and phragmites, which are just reeds and some grass, sedges and things there. So it's like a marsh die cut. And I only have one, so this was gifted to me. And I'm like, oh, that reminds me of all the scenery that we passed by on the train. Because the train goes up the Connecticut River, and there's lots of freshwater marshes. Oh, I see an egret. And they're all along the river, so we got to see a lot of that. So because we saw all the marshes, I was like, oh, I'm going to stick that on the page. So I got it out, and I set it there just to see how it would look. And I'm thinking, you know what? When we went by the marshes, I saw a couple of these great egrets, great white egrets. And so I went in and I took out this book, which is one I bought at the library book sale for like 50 cents that I used to cut up. And I cut out the great white egret, and I put that down, and then I put the die cut on top of it. And I'm like, oh, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. So I've added quite a bit. And I decided to leave the blue because the train went up the river. So the blue is the river. We've got a little steampunk for the old-fashioned steam train. I got my pictures, Flat Stanley, Mr. Possum, and I, in the train, and the conductor. In the conductor, too. And Baby Possum there from a long time ago in a train museum. So I had taken out the Chums book looking for a picture of a train, and I found this one. I love this, very vintagey looking. But first I glue down a scrap of this ticket paper to, this page was all white, right? So I glued the ticket paper down, and then I took the matte medium and I fixed it to another piece of scrapbook paper, and then I made a pocket out of it. So I'm loving the spread, how it's coming out. It's so much fun when you make the pages in a scrapbook like all different sizes and shapes, and you kind of like get a preview of the next page when you're looking at one page, or if it's a big page, you turn the page, there's like a lot to look at behind it. Very fun. And I don't always do this. Because, you know, after working in like an altered book or an altered composition notebook, the pages are all kind of like very even. But when you make a journal yourself, it's so much fun to use different papers and different size papers and have all little bits of things sticking out. Super fun. All right, so this is getting there. Look how different it looks than it did yesterday. Quite a difference. This was all white and these things weren't here. So let me move some of this stuff. Whoops, that would put the book down, because I have a few more things I need to do. So I had this postcard from the Essex steam train, number 40. That's the one we rode on. And I was going to put a picture of Baby Possum on the back like that, just decorating it. And I took out the page from the bird book about the freshwater marshes, shallow fresh water with a growth of cattails, sedges, reeds, or bulrushes. Such marshes often include some open water. In these may be found the birds that we cover in our lake, ponds, rivers section. Around the edge of the marsh, on damp ground, there may be stands of willows, alders, or red maples, in which may be found birds treated in our thickets and second growth section. Finally, during migration, flocks of swallows may often inhabit such marshes. Now, the reason I'm reading that is, well, number one, because we went past all the freshwater marshes, and we did see the great egret there. But they do run boat rides up and down the river, and we've done this. So from the riverside looking to the marshes, you can see like the ospreys and their nests and the bald eagles. And at this time of year, a little bit earlier in the fall, they do have cruises where they go up specifically to see the swallows. So I thought that was interesting, because during swallow migrations at this place, they do have boat rides, so you can go see those swallows. So that was a connection from the bird book to our little adventure. So I'm going to glue these two things down if I have any room here whatsoever, and I don't. Oh, so I was going to look this up. I'm going to do that on my phone in just a second. The name of this museum, so I can write on here. Because I was so terrible. I didn't write anything, with these pictures, who they are, when it was taken, where it was taken. Oh, I forgot I was going to put this underneath. Let's see if I can get it. This is called the great egret. They used to be called the great white egret and all different names, but apparently they've settled on calling these the great egret instead of the great white egret. I don't know why. All right, I'm going to put this one down here. So I'm covering up that little bit at the bottom because I want some room to write right there. Like that. So I'm going to write down here and I'm going to write up there. Just a little bit of journaling. I just put the train travels up the Connecticut River past the marshes where I spotted a few great egrets. And down here, baby possum and engine 103. And this is the Railroad Museum of New England, and it is in Thomaston, Connecticut. And I put early 1980s because I'm not sure if he's 3 in this one. It would be 1983 if he's 3. 1982 if he's 2. I'm not really sure if he's 2 or 3 in this picture. Because, the brain, she's the broke. I can't remember all that stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is, because this is about this, should I put this in here? Yeah, I'm going to put this one in here. Put those all together like that. But I'm going to make one more for this side because I wanted to make a card out of this train picture. And so this was the Valley Railroad Company of Connecticut, Valley Line. And now it is the Railroad Museum of New England. And also, I just went on their website to get the correct name. And they are in the process of refurbishing this 103 engine to actually get it running. So I'll have to investigate to see if that is up and running yet. But I still have some more scraps left over, and this is double-sided, so that's nice. So maybe I will put this on one side, and I just have a little bit about the egret here because I ripped off the part about the marshes. But there's a little bit right there that I can add onto one side. And I don't know if I have any more journaling or not. We'll see. So how am I going to do this? Because I have this train with that in the background like that, I almost want to do the same thing here. And sort of maybe cut out this white, because we don't need the white, and glue it down here. And this is ripped, so maybe I'll rip an edge and then do something on the other side, and do something on that side. Or, ooh, I could put this on this side. Oh, I always get one more idea. I know, spend a lifetime. Okay, because we got this train too. That's kind of big. That one is kind of big. Let's see. How big is it? To the boys of the empire upon which the sun never sets. So this must be British. Printed in England. London, England. My dear chums. Should I save this cover for a journal? A beautiful cover. Okay, let's see. So I'm just going to rip around this train. I don't know, should I keep that race car in the bottom? It's under the trestle. As a kid, I always thought trains were wondrous things. My grandmother in New York had a train track behind her house. This may have to go over here. This may have to get glued down a little better. And she had an old house, 3 stories. Oh, that glue stick didn't hold this at all. I don't know why. She had an old house, old brick house, and when the trains went by, you know, things would vibrate a little bit. And we sort of learned, we could like almost feel when a train was coming. You could like almost hear it, but you can certainly feel it in the vibration in the ground coming up through the brick house. I'll let that dry. But that's going to go on this side because that's a smaller pocket. And this will go on this side because this is a much bigger pocket. Yeah, so when we felt like one was coming, we would run up to the 3rd floor bathroom window, which was in the back of the house, because this house was so old that it had no bathrooms, original bathrooms, and my grandfather had added on like an addition on the back of the house. So there was a bathroom on the 2nd floor and one on the 3rd floor that kind of stacked up on top of each other at the back of the house. And she's like, well, you know what, I'm going to have to matte medium this down, and that's going to take a while to dry. Well, this project won't get done, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, so we run up to the 3rd floor bathroom, up all the steps, up. and we go to the window and we count how many engines the train had and how many cars. So, you know, maybe the train had like 4 engines and it had 157 railroad cars. I mean, these were huge, long trains. And most of the time we could see lots of train cars carrying cars. So I don't know if at that time, if they came all the way by rail from the Great Lakes down through New York for distribution, or if they came all the way from Detroit on a train. I'm not sure. Well, I could go ahead and glue this on first. And get this side all done, and then flip it over and work on the other side. I'm going to have to take off that snow plow there, whatever that is. Yeah, so that was the thing my brother and I used to do. Or sometimes we would go and run outside and get over to the train tracks. They weren't like right behind her house, but pretty close. So if we ran down all the steps and out the back door and through the backyard and down the alleyway over to where the train tracks were, we would wave to the fellow in the caboose. That was our thing. We had to wave to the fellow in the caboose. I should do my book of memories, right? Every time I think of something, I need to write these things down. I think of weird things at strange times. So I was going to put that on there, and I was going to put a little information about the egret. So let me get these glued down. I love to watch egrets fish. They stand still as a statue, waiting and waiting until just the right moment. Then they strike and they spear a fish with their large bill. Saw a great egret 10/2/2023. And now I am going to put this train on the back. And then I can put this journal aside and let everything dry. I use a nice soft brush. And I'm just going to put some on the back. We were not allowed to go play on the train trestle. No, we were not. We did go down one day and look at it, but we did not go up on it and play there. And this was the 1950s, before they had the Clean Water and Clean Air Acts. So the river that went under the train trestle was called the Dye River, D-Y-E. The Dye River was kind of like a little nickname because there was a textile mill upstream. And I guess you can tell what fabric they were dyeing that day by the color of the river. That's back when factories just dumped their wastewater right into streams and things. They're not allowed to do that anymore. So I believe I have all the pieces done for the train spread. I'm so happy I went down the basement and got the vintage book here. Get these old train pictures. old pictures of baby possum with an old train. This is one of my ideas of cosmic smashing. Pulling resources like this and then mixing up memories with more or less like a daily journaling kind of thing. Okay, that looks pretty good. So this card is done. I'm going to put this aside to dry. And this side is done. I love the addition of the egret and the marsh and all the bits on here, and of course this fun page on this side, and that card is done. I think that's dry enough now to stick in there. And look at this, going to have the little engineer sticking out right there, poking out right there. I love it. Look at, he's sticking out on this side. How cute. Okay, well, let's put this aside. And before I do anything else, I need to clean the matte medium off of my brush. Well, I think I'm just going to pull out a few things and set up for the next journaling page. I'm probably not going to get finished, or might not even get started, because it's already getting late. But if I have things started here, then I could just pop in and do some journaling when I get a chance. And I'm going through my pile. I did try to organize some things. I know I'm off camera here, but there was... Oh, here's one. Oh, I gotta do a page about these donuts. Where's the other part of this? I'm trying to get organized here. It's very, very hard. And here's a puppy dog. That's all I got. I thought I saved a few. I guess I didn't, but that's okay. Okay, so pulling out dogs. So what do you think I'm going to journal about? Well, I have a picture that I'm going to put in my nutty journal. And this is a journal for my nutty friends. I love my nutty friends. Made from a Planters honey roasted peanut box. As you can see, I'll link below when I made this. All delicious goodies, cookies, and ring-dings and peanuts. And the pages are all painty papers. And these I made, I think I did all of these one day, just painting on the back of all these papers. I think this is one I did outside with some crayons and water. And a lot of this is the insert you get with a paper pack from Michael's, but there's some wallpaper and braille paper from an old book. Pictures of nuts right there. Ah, here's Linda D. Take a moment to remember Linda D. Linda's Mixed Up Mess. And this is one of the ways she was just so intricate with her collages. You know, just everything's all tied together. The gecko's coming out of the flowers and his hands are out, but he's got a little gnome in each hand. And the tropical drink has these plants, but there's a butterfly on the plants. I love it. I love it. Okay. Linda, go back on your page. And let's see, looks like I got a little glue on her, but that's okay. That's okay. Not too many nuts in here yet. Oh. This one is Dolores J. Rush, and we're playing around with this app on the phone called LOL Photo Booth or something. And you take a picture of your face and it distorts it into all different funny shapes. And then she made these little dolls. It's really funny. Using packaging and then arms and legs from magazines. Too cute. And this is my sister. Being a little salty one day. And here's Carol from Crinkled Path. And they grow a lot of almonds, walnuts where she lives. She sent me that to put in here. Local nut, local nut photo from almond and walnut growing land. That was super fun. And then I thought there was another one in here. Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. Okay, so this is some of the nutty stuff that I've saved. I think anything that had nuts on it, from magazines or packaging, even like coffee, because coffee is chock full of nuts, right? Chock full of nuts, walnuts. So try to save anything that says nuts or has nuts on it to help me journal in my nutty. All right, I have to print out a picture because I guess I haven't done that yet. So here's the picture I printed out of Heather C., Crafter's Alley by Heather C., and her little Poochie right there, who loves to be so close to Mama and snuggle. Little fur baby, carrying it around in like a little baby carrier. I thought that was so funny. So now you know why I cut out that picture. How sweet is that? So I'm just going to leave. The picture is printed out. I've got little doggy pictures. I'm not sure what I'm going to use. This is some old scrapbooking paper, but it's got dogs and cats. So I'm just going to leave everything right like this, ready to go. I've got her picture. I got magazine pages and scrapbook paper. I got my journal open. I got my nutty stuff right here. And yeah, so it is ready to go when I have a chance now. It's all set. I'll just pop on in and sit down and see what I can come up with. And I will show you that in the next video. Thanks for coming along today. And I want to wish everybody happy junk journaling. Bye-bye.